Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our YouTube channel Paper Bold, where we are solving past paper questions of IGCSE Chemistry 0620. Currently we are doing the chapter of stoichiometry, and in that chapter we are going to do topic 3.1, which is formula. So let's begin, but before we start, kindly like and subscribe the channel, and if you find anything helpful in these videos, kindly remember me in your prayers. Thank you. So let's begin. Question number 1. Magnetite is an ore of iron which contains the ions Fe+2, Fe+3 and O-2 ions only. What is the formula for magnetite? Okay. If there are Fe+2, +3 and O-2 ions in the magnetite ore, there can be two options for the formula of magnetite. If Fe +3 ion is being used, so Fe+3 is going to be there and O-2 is going to be there. So when we cross these oxidation states over, we are going to get Fe2O3. Or if the iron has an oxidation state of +2 and oxygen has the oxidation state of -2, as in case of these two ions being there, when cross multiplied they are going to be cancelled, and the answer that we are going to get is FeO. So these two can be the formula for magnetite. So if we look at the options, we see that B resembles one of these formulas, which is Fe2O3. So B is going to be our correct option. Okay. Question number 2. The diagram shows the structure of a molecule of ethyl ethanoate. What is the molecular formula of a molecule of ethyl ethanoate? Okay, ethyl ethanoate is basically an ester. This is the alcohol part, and this is the carboxylic part. You don't need to get into these details at the moment. We just have to find the molecular formula. So the simplest possible way to do is that first find the carbons. How many carbon atoms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So C is going to be 4 over here. Okay. Let's go with the hydrogens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 hydrogens in this molecule, and then as far as the oxygen is concerned, there are 2 oxygens. Okay. So this is going to be the molecular formula for ethyl ethanoate. So C4H8O2 is our option B over here. So B is our correct option for this. Okay. Don't get intimidated by this structure, this display formula. It's called the display formula. Don't get intimidated by that. It's simple as that. Okay. So let's move on. Question number 3. A hydrocarbon contains 85.7% of carbon by mass. What is the empirical formula of the hydrocarbon? Okay. If you need to find the empirical formula, there is a step-by-step procedure for that. Okay. I'll just guide you through it, and there are many questions in this topic which where we need to find the empirical formula and then the molecular formula as well. So we are going to do it so many times that you are going to get a hold of the concept as well as the method. Okay. I'll try to be as straightforward as possible and make it as easy for you as I can. Okay. Acha. Now, first thing is first, obviously you must not have done hydrocarbon or organic chemistry up till now, okay? But inshallah, when you are going to be doing the paper, so you will be knowing everything about it, okay? So help me get through it, okay? Now, what is it? They've been telling us that a hydrocarbon contains 85.7% of carbon by mass. So a hydrocarbon, as the name suggests, has 2 elements in it. One has to be carbon and one has to be hydrogen. If you see the options given as answers, so there is carbon and hydrogen. Okay? So we need the mass for carbon as well as the mass for hydrogen in order to find the empirical formula. We've been given the mass of the carbon, but we haven't been given the mass of hydrogen. And we need these two to find the empirical formula. Okay? So what we are going to do is, we know that carbon is 85.7% by mass. So total is 100%. Okay? So if we subtract 85.7% of carbon from 100, we are going to get an answer of 14.3%. Okay? So carbon over here is 85.7%. And hydrogen over here is 14.3%. So once we know the percentages now, so the next step is that you write carbon and hydrogen like this. Write the mass of carbon over here, the percentage mass of the carbon over here, and of hydrogen over here. Okay? So first we are going to find the molar ratios of carbon and hydrogen. How do we find the molar ratios? We divide the percentage, the mass of carbon by percentage with its MR number. Okay? So the first step over here is dividing these masses with MRs. So MR for carbon is 12 and MR for hydrogen is 1. So after we've divided 85.7, which was the percentage mass of carbon with its MR number, we get an answer of 7.14. And the answer for hydrogen would be simple, that is 14.3. Okay. Now this brings us to the second step. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to see which one of these ratios is smallest. Okay. So we can see that 7.14 is smaller than 14.3. So what we are going to do is, we are going to divide both the molar ratios with the molar ratio that is smaller or smallest. Because sometimes there are 3 or 4 elements as well, jinka you have to find the empirical formula. Okay. So we are going to divide both the molar ratios with the smallest molar ratio. So the answer that we are going to get is 1 over here obviously and 2 over here. So now 1 is for carbon and 2 is for hydrogen. That is how we have found the molecular formula of this hydrocarbon. Okay. This is just the first step in finding the molecular formula. Okay. So we are going to do it again and again. Even if you have not understood it the first time, so inshallah you are going to understand it after we move forward and do it again and again. Okay? So this can be written as CH2 as well, because we don't write 1 over here. Okay? So A is going to be the correct answer for this one. Okay. Moving forward, question number 4 is, which equations are balanced? We have to see that which equations are balanced over here. So if we look at the first equation, so it is, okay, moving on to question number 4, which equations are balanced? Okay, we just have to balance these equations and see that they are balanced or not. Over here we see that there is 2 atoms of Fe in one molecule, and over here iron is balanced. Oxygen is 3, 3, 6. So 3 2s are 6. Oxygen is balanced over here as well, and carbon is balanced over here as well. So this equation is balanced. This equation has Zn 1, 1 Zn, carbon 1, carbon 1. Oxygen is 3, but over here oxygen is 5. 4. 2 from here and 2 from here. So this is not a balanced equation. MgNO3 2 and NaOH. So if you see over here that Mg is balanced, OH was 2 O's and 2 H, so this is not balanced. Sodium is not balanced. There are 2 of sodium over here and nothing over here, so this is also not balanced. This equation's calcium is 1. Calcium is 1 over here, carbon is 1 over here, 1 over here as well. oxygen is 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, this is a balanced equation. So 1 and 4 are balanced. So B is the correct option. Okay, moving on to question number 5. Which row shows the formula of sodium carbonate, zinc nitrate and ammonium sulfate? Okay. Now, we can use a simple method to find the formula of these compounds. Okay, for sodium, the oxidation state for sodium is +1 since it belongs to the first group, okay, of the periodic table. For carbonates, sulfates, nitrates, phosphates, sulfite, oxide, hydroxide, you have to remember them, okay. So for carbonate, it is CO3 minus 2. Obviously, because these are not there in the periodic table. Periodic table only has elements, not compounds. Okay, for these you have to remember. Acha, when we cross multiply these oxidation state, what we get is Na2 and CO3. Okay, so the formula for sodium carbonate is Na2CO3. So these would not be the correct options. These two would be correct if zinc nitrate and ammonium sulfate have them correctly as well. Acha, for zinc nitrate, we have zinc and nitrate. Okay. For zinc, it is +2. Okay. And for nitrate, it is NO3 -1. So if we cross multiply the oxidation states, then our answer is going to be Zn NO3 and 2 over here. So this seems to be the correct option. Let's see if ammonium sulfate over here is also correct. So B is going to be our correct option. Achha, for ammonium sulfate, achha, you have to find the oxidation state for ammonium as well. So ammonium ka oxidation state is +1 and for sulfate it is SO4 -2. So crossing over the oxidation state, we have NH4, 2 and SO4. So this is the correct option for it. So here we have it, B. Achha. Moving on to the next question. The number of moles of atoms X, Y and Z in a compound are shown. What is the formula of the compound? Okay. Now we've done a question before as well where we found the empirical formula. Okay. In that question, first we had the percentage mass ratios and we had to divide them by their MRs to get their molar ratios. Over here, we don't need to do that step because we've been provided with the molar ratios. Okay? So what we are going to do is we are going to write X, Y and Z over here and their molar ratios beneath them. So X ka molar ratio is 0.6, Y ka molar ratio is 1.2 and Z's molar ratio is 0.3. So this was the second step over here. Okay? Now the third step was to divide all these molar ratios with the molar ratio, excuse me, which was the smallest out of all the ratios. Okay? So 0.3 seems to be the smallest. So we need to divide the molar ratios with the smallest molar ratio. That was the step 2. Okay? Okay. So let's divide 0.6 with 0.3, 1.2 with 0.3 and 0.3 with 0.3. So what answers are we going to get? For 0.3 divided by 0.3, we are going to get 1. For 1.2 divided by 0.3, we are going to get 4. And for 0.6 divided by 0.3, we are going to get 2. So this compound has a formula of X2, Y4 and Z1. See how we reached this formula? Okay? So D is going to be our correct option for this. Okay. Moving on to question number 7. The equation represents the reaction between solid magnesium oxide and dilute hydrochloric acid to form magnesium chloride in water. Which row shows the state symbol for hydrochloric acid? Magnesium chloride in water. Okay. See that over here, MgCl2 basically is soluble salt. Okay, all salts of chlorine are soluble except for AgCl. And PbCl. Okay, silver chloride, mercury chloride and lead chloride are not soluble. All other chloride salts are soluble. So if we have MgCl2 over here, so what is going to happen, that this is going to be aqueous because it's dissolved. Okay, water obviously is going to be liquid. Okay, and what else do we have? HCl. Okay, HCl stated over here is dilute. Okay, now we have been given the statement that it is dilute hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid is going to be aqueous as well. So hydrochloric acid being aqueous, MgCl2 being aqueous and liquid, so A is going to be our correct option. ठीक हो गया? Question number 8. Which formula is an empirical formula? Okay. Question number 8. Which formula is an empirical formula? Okay, what is an empirical formula? It is just simple whole number ratios of the elements. Okay. So if we see our option A, this formula cannot be further simplified. Okay. 2 and 4 can be simplified, but since there is nothing here for simplification, so oxygen is not going to involve, so this cannot be simplified any further. This formula is not an empirical formula since it can be simplified. 2, 1, 2, 4 and 2. So this is going to be an empirical formula. This is not an empirical formula. If we see this, so we can do C4, H8 and O2. Okay, and these can be simplified as well. So this is not an empirical formula. If we look at this, so 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons are there. There are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hydrogens and oxygen are 2. So this formula can be simplified further as well. 1, 4 and 2. So this was the only formula that couldn't be simplified any further. So this is the empirical formula and rest of these are not empirical formulas. Okay. Okay, moving on to question number 9. What is the formula for potassium oxide? Okay. Now the symbol for potassium is K. Okay. And I told you that you've got to remember the oxidation state of oxide, hydroxide and other compounds. So for oxide it's -2 and for potassium, as it belongs to the first group of the periodic table, so it's +1. So if we cross multiply or cross over the oxidation state, so we get K2 and O. So the formula for potassium oxide is K2O. ठीक हो गया? Please don't go for P. P is for phosphorus and not for potassium. ठीक है? Question number 10. Methane, CH4, burns in air to form carbon dioxide and water. What is the balanced equation for this reaction? Okay. There is one carbon over here, there is one carbon over here. There are 4 hydrogens and 4 hydrogens over here. But there are 3 oxygens in the product side and 2 in the reactant side. So this is not a balanced equation. If we look over here, so 1 carbon over here, 1 carbon over here, 4 hydrogens, 4 hydrogens, 4 oxygens, and 4 oxygen. So yes, this is a balanced equation. But let's move forward and see the other as well. It's carbon to carbon, hydrogen 4, hydrogen 4, oxygen 4, oxygen 4. Okay. 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens, 4 hydrogens. No, this is not correct. 1 carbon, 4 hydrogens, 3. Okay, this is also not balanced since oxygen is not balanced. So B is our correct option for question number 10. Okay, question number 11. Compound X contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen only. By mass, it contains 26.7% carbon, 2.2% hydrogen, and percentage for oxygen is not given, and we are going to find it ourselves. What is the empirical formula of the X? Okay, we can just simply carbon plus hydrogen plus oxygen is equal to 100. So for carbon it's 26.7, for hydrogen it's 2.2, for oxygen we have to find. Okay? So 100 minus 26.7 minus 2.2 is going to give us the percentage for oxygen, which is 71.1%. Okay. So once we've had the percentages, it is very easy to find the empirical formula. Okay. Let me clear this space. Okay. So we just found out that the percentage of oxygen in this compound X is 71.1%. So let's move over here. So we have carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in this compound. So carbon ka ratio is 26.7%, hydrogen is 2.2% and oxygen is 71.1%. So we are going to do our first step, find the molar ratios. And to find the molar ratios, we are going to divide these masses with their MR numbers. So MR for carbon is 12, for hydrogen it is 1, and for oxygen it is 71.1 by 16. So what we get over here is 2.2 moles for carbon, 2.2 for hydrogen and 4.4 for carbon. So what is our second step? We have to divide molar ratios with the smallest molar ratio. Okay, so how are we? Its smallest molar ratio over here is 2.2. So 2.2 over 2.2, 2.2 over 2.2 and 4.4 over 2.2. So these two are going to give us an answer of 1:1 and this is going to give us an answer of 2. So this compound contains carbon in the ratio of 1, hydrogen in the ratio of, hydrogen in the ratio of 1 and oxygen in the ratio of 2. So CHO2 is the empirical formula for this compound. So D is our correct option. ठीक हो गया? Question number 12. The formula for of an aluminium ion is Al plus 3. What is the formula for aluminium sulfate? So for aluminium sulfate, there is going to be aluminium, which has the formula Al plus 3. Okay. And for sulfate, we know it is SO4 minus 2. Okay. So crossing these oxidation state, we have Al2 SO4 3. So this is the formula for aluminium sulfate. So C is going to be our correct option. ठीक हो गया? Question number 13. What is the empirical formula of an oxide of iron formed by reacting 22.4 grams of iron with 0.96 grams of oxygen? Okay. So now we have the masses. We first need to convert these into moles. Okay, let me clear the space. Okay, so whenever we have percentages, masses, whatever, so we have to convert them into moles because moles can be compared with each other with ease. So this compound basically is an oxide of iron, and obviously it's an oxide, so it will have iron. So we are going to write Fe and O2 over here. Okay. So the mass of iron is 2.24 grams and the mass for oxygen is 0.96 grams. So first thing is first we need to convert these into moles. So how are we going to do it? We are going to divide them with their MR numbers. So MR for iron is 56 and that for oxygen is 16. Okay. So once we divide that, we get 0.04 moles and 0.06 moles. So the second step is to divide all the molar ratios with the smallest mole. So 0.04 is the smallest mole. So we are going to divide both of these with 0.04. So here we get an answer of 1 and here we get an answer of 1.5. But we need simple whole number ratios, okay? We can't work with 1.5. So what are we going to do is that we are going to multiply both these ratios with something that gives us a whole number, okay? So if we divide 1 with 2, we get 2 over here. Oh, sorry, we multiply 1 with 2, we get 2 over here. And if we multiply 1.5 with 2 as well, so we get 3 over here. Okay, you can see that if you multiply it with 2 and you get whole numbers, if you don't get whole numbers, you can multiply it with 3 and 4 and so on. Okay, we've used 2, which was our first number, and it has given us whole number ratio, so we don't need to multiply any further. So for iron, we have 2. And for oxygen, we have 3. So the empirical formula for iron oxide would be Fe2O3. Okay. So C is our correct option. Okay, moving forward. Question number 14. The equation for the reaction between iron 3 oxide and carbon monoxide is shown. Which values of X, Y and Z balance the equation? Okay. If we've got to balance the equation, we've got to see what we have over here. So there are 2 of iron, so definitely we are going to apply 2 over here. Okay. Oxygen over here is 3 and 4. So in order to balance oxygen, we can use 2 over here. But in this way, carbon is going to get unbalanced. So we need 2 over here as well. If we apply 2 over here, then the oxygens become 5. So we can't work with that as well. So what we are going to do is, we can apply 3 over here. Okay, let's remove the 2 and apply 3 over here. So this makes carbon to be 3 and 3 2s are 6. There are 6 oxygens as well. So we will remove this 2 from here as well. And we can apply 3 over here. Okay. So now iron is balanced, carbon is balanced and oxygen is balanced as well. So X had to be 3, Y had to be 2 and Z had to be 3 as well. Okay. So D is going to be our correct option. You can always use these over here as well. I just balanced the equation free-handedly without using these values, but we've reached the answer. Okay. Okay, question number 15. An oxide of nitrogen has the following composition by mass. Nitrogen 30.4%, oxygen 69.6%. It has a relative molecular mass of 92. What is the molecular formula of nitrogen? Oxide of nitrogen. Okay. Now this requires us to find the molecular formula. So this might seem to be a lengthy procedure. But inshallah, when you get a hold of it, you won't have any problems doing it. Okay. So now, what do we have over here? We have 2 elements, nitrogen and oxygen. So the first step remains to be the same, to find the molar ratios. Okay. 30.4 of nitrogen, and 69.6 of oxygen. So first step is finding the molar ratios. And we do this by dividing the masses with their MRs. So MR for nitrogen is 28 and MR for oxygen is 16. So this gives us an answer of 2.17 and this gives us an answer of 4.35. So once we've had our molar ratios, the second step is to divide these molar ratios with the smaller molar ratio. So 2.17 is the smaller molar ratio out of these two. So okay, 2.17 by 2.17 and 4.35 divided by 2.17. Okay, so this is going to give us an answer of 1 to 2. So the empirical formula, we've reached our empirical formula, which is NO2. Okay, this is our empirical formula. Now we have to move forward from here and so that we can find the molecular formula. Okay, so what we need to do is the molecular formula. The formula to find the molecular formula is empirical formula. Okay, so we know what our empirical formula is, but we don't know what this thing is. Okay, so this thing is actually has its own formula, which is molecular mass by empirical formula mass. Okay. So this molecular mass we will always be given in the question. Okay. Over here it is given to be 92. Okay. So this we have and this we need to find. Okay. So we can just simply find the empirical formula mass since the empirical formula is NO2. Okay. So 14 is there for nitrogen and 16 into 2 it's going to be for oxygen. So this gives us an answer of 46. So now we have the empirical formula mass and we have the molecular formula mass. Okay. So what are we going to do is we are going to put in our values in this formula. Okay. This is our third step. Actually third step was finding the empirical formula mass. This is our fourth step. We are going to put in the values. So N is equal to 92, which is the molecular mass. And then we have the empirical formula mass to be 46. So we find the value of N to be 2. Okay. So once we have this value of N, it is very simple. The molecular formula, I'm writing it as M into F, is N into empirical formula. Okay. So the value of N is 2 and our empirical formula was NO2. So if we multiply 2 with this, we are going to get N2 and O4. Okay. So this is the molecular formula of the compound that had nitrogen and oxygen in this combination. Okay. So here D is our correct option. I hope you understood this. If you haven't, rewind the video, go through the process once again, and inshallah you are going to understand that. And we are going to be doing many questions like this. So inshallah you are going to get a hang of it. Okay. Okay. Question number 17. Iron can react with sulfur to form two ionic compounds. The iron is present as Fe+2 in one compound and as Fe+3 in the other compound. The sulfur ion is present as S-2 in both the compounds. What are the formulae of the two compounds? Okay, now this is a fairly simple question. iron is present as Fe plus 2 and Fe plus 3 in the two compounds, and sulfur ion is present as S minus 2 in both the compounds. So if we cross the oxidation state, one formula that we are going to get is FeS, since plus 2 and minus 2 are going to cancel each other. And the other one we are going to get as Fe2S3. Okay, so these are the two formulas that we are going to get. So I think Fe2S3A is our correct option. Okay, moving on to question number 18. Iron 3 chromate is a solid, is a yellow solid. It contains the ions Fe plus 3 and CrO4 minus 2, which are chromate ions. What is the formula of iron 3 chromate? So this is also simple. Iron in iron 3 chromate is present as Fe plus 3, and chromate is CO4 minus 2. So if we cross these oxidation state, we are going to get Fe2 CrO4 3. Okay. So D is going to be our correct option for this. Okay. Moving on to question number 19. A sample of an iron oxide contains 54 grams of iron and 21.6 grams of oxygen. What is the empirical formula of the iron oxide? Now we've been given iron and oxygen in iron oxide as in grams. So first of all, we are going to convert these grams into molar ratios. Okay. So here we have iron and here we have oxygen. Iron is like 50.4 grams and oxygen is 21.6 grams. So first step is molar ratios. How are we going to do that? We are going to divide these with their MR number. So MR for carbon is 56. Okay, and that for oxygen is 16. So the answer that we are going to get is 0.9 and 1.35. So once we know the molar ratios, the second step is to divide these with the smaller one. Smaller molar ratio. Since 0.9 is smaller than 1.35, so 0.9 by 0.9 and 1.35 by 0.9. So the answer that we get is 1, obviously over here, and 1.5 over here. So now we are going to, since we need simple whole number ratios to find the empirical formula, we are going to multiply these two ratios with whole number. Okay. For example, we can multiply it with 2. So over here we can get 2, and when we multiply 2 with 1.5, we get 3. So now they are in simple whole number ratios, and for Fe it's 2 and for oxygen it's 3. So the empirical formula for a sample of iron oxide that contains 50.4 grams of iron and 21.6 grams of oxygen will be Fe2O3. So C is our correct option. Moving forward to question number 20. The relative molecular mass of an alcohol is 88. Its percentage composition by mass is carbon 54.5%, hydrogen 9.1%, and oxygen 36.4%. Which row shows the empirical formula and molecular formula of this alcohol? Okay. Now we need to find both the empirical and the molecular formula. Let me clear up the space. Okay. So first thing is first, we are going to write the elements that are there in this alcohol. Okay. So there is 54.5% carbon, 9.1% hydrogen, and 36.4% oxygen. So first step is to convert these into molar ratios. We do that by dividing these percentages with their MRs. Okay, so MR for carbon is 12, for hydrogen it's 1, and for oxygen it's 16. So the answers that we are going to get is 4.54. When we divide 54.5 with 12, this is going to be 9.1. And 36.4 divided by 16 is 2.275. Okay. So the next step is going to be dividing these molar ratios with the smallest ratio. So out of 4.54, 9.1 and 2.275, this is the smallest. Okay, so we are going to divide 4.54 with 2.75, as these are the steps to finding empirical formula and then the molecular formula. Okay, and then 2.275 by 2.275. So over here we are going to get 2. Over here we are going to get 4, and obviously over here we are going to get 1. So once we had these ratios, we can simply form our empirical formula. For carbon, the ratio is 12. For hydrogen, it's 4, and for oxygen, it's 1. Once we've reached the empirical formula, we can always find the molecular formula with the help of N into empirical form. Okay, where this N is molecular mass, which is always given in the question statement, divided by empirical formula mass. Okay, ji. So first of all, we need to find the mass related to empirical formula. So our empirical formula was this. So carbon is 12, okay, into 2, plus hydrogen is 4 into 1, plus oxygen ka atomic mass is 16. So when we add all of these, we get our answer as 44. So empirical formula mass is 44. And molecular mass is given as 88. So let's find this. So it's going to be 88 because molecular mass is 88 and empirical formula mass is 44. So this is going to give us an answer of 2. So once we have the value of N, we can simply put it in this formula, which is molecular formula, I am writing the short form, is equal to N, which is 2, into empirical formula, which is C2H40. H4 oxygen. So this is going to give us carbon ke liye it's going to be 4, hydrogen ke liye 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, and oxygen, since was 1 over here, so 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. So this is the molecular formula, and this is our empirical formula. So let's look at our options. C2H40, C2H40O. So these are not going to be C2H4, no, this is not the molecular formula. This and this is our empirical formula. We found out this formula with the help of all this work. Okay. Okay. Question number 21. A compound is analyzed and found to contain 85.7% carbon and 14.3% hydrogen. What is the empirical formula? Okay, let me clear out the space and then we can find the empirical formula. And I do hope that up till now you are familiar with the steps that are required to find empirical formula from either the percentages or the masses that have been given to us. Okay? So the compound contains carbon and hydrogen. So we are going to write them over here. So carbon is 85.7% and hydrogen is 14.3%. So first step, molar ratios. Okay. So 85.7, carbon ka MR is 12 and 14.3 and hydrogen ka MR is 1. So this is going to give us an answer of 7.14, and obviously this is going to give us 14.3. So second step is dividing these molar ratios with the smallest one. So out of these two, 7.14 is smaller than 14.3, so we are going to divide both of them with 7.14. So this gives us 1 and this gives us 2. So the empirical formula is for carbon it's 1 and for hydrogen it's 2. So CH2 is going to be the empirical formula, okay, of this compound. Okay. Moving on to question number 22. A compound contains 34.5% calcium, 24.1% silicon and 41.4% oxygen by mass. What is its empirical formula? So we have three elements in this compound, which is calcium, silicon and oxygen. So we are going to write them like this. Okay. For calcium, the percentage is 34.5. For silicon, it's 24.1%, and for oxygen, it's 41.4%. Okay. So first step, take out the moles. How are we going to do that? Dividing this with their respective MRs. Silicon ka MR is 28, and for oxygen, we know it is 60. So the answer that we are going to get after this is 0.86, 0.86 and 2.5. So the second step is to divide these with the smaller masses. Okay. So let's forget it. So out of these 0.86 is the smaller one. So it's going to be divided with that of calcium, with that of silicon, and with that of oxygen. Okay. So the answers that we get are 1 is to 1 is to 3. So now for calcium it's 1, for silicon it's 1, and for oxygen it's 3. So this compound has an empirical formula of CaSiO3. So B is going to be our correct option. Okay. Moving on to question number 23. Which equations are balanced? Okay. For the first one, we see that iron is 1. Over here, iron is 2 over here. Okay. It's 2, 2, okay. Oxygen is 6 over here, and oxygen is 3 to the 6 over here, and carbon is 3 over here. So this equation is balanced. ZnCO3 plus HCl, zinc and zinc are balanced. Carbon and carbon are balanced. Oxygen is 3 over here, whereas oxygen is 4 over here, so this is not balanced. MgNO3 mein, this one Mg is balanced. Nitrate is in O3, nitrate is not balanced at all, so this is not balanced. In this one, calcium is balanced, carbon is balanced, oxygen is 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oxygen is balanced as well, hydrogen is balanced as well, so this is balanced. So 1 and 4 are balanced. Okay. Moving on to question number 24. The formula of some ions are shown. In which row is the formula not correct? Okay, first one is aluminium sulfate. So aluminium ka, it is Al plus 3, and for sulfate is SO4 minus 2. Okay, so the formula is going to be Al 2SO4 3. So this is correct. We have to find something which is not correct. For calcium nitrate, we have calcium Ca plus 2 and nitrate as NO3 negative. So when there is a crossover of the oxidation states, it is CaNO3 2. So this is correct as well. For iron 3 bromide, iron should be plus 3, bromide is over here. Br negative, this is going to give us a formula of FeBr3. So this is not correct. Let's find the formula for potassium sulfide as well. For potassium, it's K plus, and for sulfide, it's S minus 2. So it's going to be Ks, K2S. Okay, so this is also correct. So C जो है is the only formula that is not correct. Question number 25. The compound X contains 40% carbon, 6.7% hydrogen, 53.3% oxygen by mass. The relative molecular mass of X is 60. What is the molecular formula of X? So this is a long question again. We have 3 elements in this compound: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. 40 for carbon, 6.7% for hydrogen, and 53.3% for oxygen. So first step is dividing these percentages with the MR numbers. So for carbon, the MR is 12. For hydrogen, the MR is 1. And for oxygen, the MR is 16. So after division, 40 divided by 12 is going to give us 3.33. 6.7 divided by 1 is going to give us 6.7. And 53.3 divided by 16 is also going to give us 3.33. So the next step is dividing these 3 with the smallest ratio, molar ratio. So 3.33 seems to be the smaller one out of these 3. So 6.7 also gets divided by this, and this also gets divided by 3.33. So for carbon we get 1, for hydrogen we get 2, and for oxygen we get 1 again. So our empirical formula is going to be C, H2 and O. So once we have our empirical formula, now we need to find the molecular formula. Okay? For molecular formula, the formula is N into empirical formula. So we don't know this. Okay, how we find this? To find this, we have another formula, that is molecular mass. That is always given to us in the statement by empirical formula mass. ठीक हो गया? So what is the empirical formula mass? We can do it here. CH2O. For carbon it's 12. For hydrogen it's 2 into 1. For oxygen it's 16. So this gives us an empirical formula mass of 30. Okay. Now once we have this, we can simply put it in this formula. Molecular mass is 60 as given in the question, and empirical mass is 30. So 31s are and 32s are 60. So the answer that we get is 2. Now to find the molecular formula, this valued into empirical formula. So 2 into CH2O. So 2 into C is C2. H has 2 already, so 2 into 2 is going to be 4. And oxygen also didn't have anything, so 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. So this is the empirical formula. Molecular formula. C2H4O2. D is going to be our correct option for this. Okay? Okay, moving forward, analysis of a compound formed between magnesium and nitrogen showed it contained 14.4 grams of magnesium and 5.6 grams of nitrogen. What is the empirical formula of the compound? Okay, let's clear the area. Okay, so there are 2 elements in this compound, magnesium and nitrogen. Okay, so magnesium is 14.4 grams and nitrogen is 5.6 grams. So let's just find out the moles from these grams. So 14.4 in magnesium ka MR is 24. Okay, and for nitrogen 5.6 divided by 14, MR for nitrogen is 14. So the answer that we get is 0.6 and 0.4. So second step is dividing these two with the smaller one. So 0.4 is smaller. So 0.6 is divided by 0.4 and 0.4 is divided by 0.4 as well. So this gives us an answer of 1.5 and this gives us an answer of 1. But for empirical formula we need simple whole number ratios. So this can be multiplied by 2, both of these, and this is going to give us 3 and this is going to give us 2. So the empirical formula over here is Mg3 and N2. Okay. So B is going to be our correct option. Okay. Moving on to question number 27. The table shows the number of atoms present in the formula of some compound. Which row is not correct? For CaCO3, there is 1 of calcium, okay, 1 of carbon and 3 of oxygen. This is correct. So, okay, for C2H5OH, there are 2 of carbon. So this is not correct. So for NaOH, there is 1 of hydrogen, 1 of oxygen and 1 of sodium. So this is correct. For H2SO4, there is 2 of hydrogen, 4 of oxygen and 1 of sulfur. So this is correct. So B is the answer which is not correct. Question number 28. Iron forms an oxide with the formula Fe2O3. What is the relative formula mass of this compound? This is simple. Fe2O3. Iron ka Mr is 56. So it is going to be multiplied by 2. And oxygen ka Mr is 16, which is going to be multiplied by 3. So we are going to have 112 plus 48. So the answer is 160. So D is going to be our correct option. A compound contains 1 atom of calcium, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 2 atoms of oxygen. What is the correct chemical formula? So the compound contains calcium, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So there is 1 of calcium, 2 for hydrogen and 2 for oxygen. So it can be written like this. So because it is going to be this and this, so instead of writing like this, we can always join these two. Okay. CaOH2 is our correct answer. Okay. Okay. Question number 30. The formula of compounds W, X and Z are shown. Which statement is correct? W contains twice as many hydrogen atoms as oxygen atom. W. Here is W and hydrogen over here is 10 and oxygen over here is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So oxygen is 9. So W does not contain twice as many hydrogen atoms as oxygen atoms. Agar aisa hota to it should have been 80. Okay, so this is not correct. Acha, X contains the most oxygen atoms. So for X it's 7 and 8 and 11. Here it's 9 and over here there are 6 and 6, 12. So this contains the most hydrogen atoms, so this is also not correct. Y contains the most hydrogen atoms. So Y may, how many hydrogens are there? 12 hydrogens are there, and in W there are 10 hydrogens, and in X there are 14 hydrogens. So this is also not correct. Y contains the same number of hydrogen and oxygen atoms. Y. 3 2s are 6, 7, 6 to 6, 12. Oxygen के यहाँ 12 हैं और यहाँ hydrogen के 12 हैं. Yes, this is correct. अच्छा, do you know how to find the molecular mass of like these compounds, which, for example, over here it's hydrated copper sulfate, it is hydrated magnesium sulfate. How do we do that? Okay, now findings for CuSO4 is simple. Add atomic mass of copper, then for sulfur, and then for oxygen. So it's 160 roughly. Okay. Now for 5H2O, now how you are going to do that? Achha, this dot sign is plus over here. Okay. Never consider it a symbol of multiplication like we do in mathematics. Okay. And then we have 5 over here. We are going to find that for hydrogen, that is 2 into 1. And then for oxygen, which is 16. So this is going to be 18. So it's going to be 90. So 160 plus 90 is going to give you the molecular mass of hydrated copper sulfate. And same over here. ठीक है, तो always consider this as plus, and then for this hydrated side, always do it like this. ठीक है, this was not there in the question, but I just thought that I'll just guide you through, because this is one of the important concepts of stoichiometry. So we are done with our topic 3.1. So inshallah, see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves up till then, and I hope that I've made this concept a little more bearable and easier for you. So best of luck, and Allah Hafiz.